All right, welcome back to the new user video series. So real quick overview, we're going to be going over macros. Quickly, I'll give you some history of the macro engine and then tell you what it can do and how you configure it. It's very simple once you've done your first scroll. So originally the macro engine was what we wrote so that our other engines, the scheduling, the appointment booking, the ticket routing, pretty much everything, whenever it would actually touch a ticket, instead of doing it directly, it would spawn off a request to the macro engine to make those changes. And then we had users say, well, man, can't you make that available to us so we can create macros for Autotask tickets and projects and tasks so that we can bundle up all these things that we always have to constantly click a million buttons for? And the answer was, yeah, actually, why don't we do that? And so we have. And so if I go here, you'll notice there's two macros ready to roll, rock and roll. But let's create our own. So what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this one, need manager help, where a tech needs to send a ticket to a manager. And I'm going to show you some cool features that you can use in macros, including enforcing input from your staff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my Rocketship admin, and then I'm going to go to my macros module, and we're going to create a new recipe. And so we're going to call that need manager help number 3. And published is this is where you this is only available to the backend engines. If you publish it, it basically means make it available in the screen for all of your users. This you only fill out if you want to overrule what it's going to be named here. So we're going to leave that blank. Here's the big one: required note. And so you can force your text to input data, or you can just do a one-click wonder here. I'm going to force them to do this. Be on the lookout. We're going to have some really cool stuff coming out for macros, particularly around forms and input via forms and what we can do here. But notice there's a ton of options what I can do. Projects, tickets, whatever. And so for this project that I'm working with, I just want to change my status to waiting manager, and I want to collect a note. That's literally it. I could change the priority, the ticket queue, the due dates, whatever, but let's not get too complicated. And so I'm going to click Save New Entry. I'm going to go back here and watch this. Macros, there it is. But if I try to submit this, it doesn't work. It's forcing the user to provide some data for me. I need help. Blah, blah, blah. And so maybe they're going to tell you, hey, the user won't contact me. This ticket stalled. I need help. Call the POC. I don't have a password, whatever. And so they're going to do this. Then they're going to click submit. Now, unfortunately for this demo, I had already had the status to waiting manager, but it would change the status to manager. And actually it's 11:59. And so this was a previous video, but notice in this one, it's 11:59. So it just created that note. Notice it does not create the note as the user. That means that nobody can edit it other than you as the manager, the Autotask administrator. Good for recording purposes. Also now, when the manager gets this ticket on their dashboard, they're going to have actual data to drive what they need to do. They won't have to call the techs and get more information. And sure, some of your techs may or may not do that, but now you can require every tech to do that. And so that's the power of macros. Again, you can change ticket categories, due dates, queues, whatever you want. It all be done using macros. You no longer have to edit 50,000 fields inside of a ticket. It can be done just by a simple click. Those are macros for you. A heads up, macros are also used by other modules, and we'll walk through how that works as well.